So as I was browsing the interwebs last night, I came across a post that ended up breaking the art community as a whole. One of the reasons why is because under pretty much the entire time since AI has come, one of the biggest things that we have tried to use to identify someone if they're tracing or not, or if they're just using AI slop, is usually by using things such as speed paints, time lapses, you name it. But as I've made videos in the past covering situations like that, it's not so black and white. It's not so simple to just say, hey, if you have a time lapse, you're good to go. Doesn't really work that way anymore, especially when the last video I made talking about a situation like this was someone went through the trouble to use a green screen to hide their actual AI artwork underneath that they were tracing. That's how serious these people take it. Sounds silly, it sounds extreme, but yes, people actually do that. And for today's video, there is something I came across that really caught people off guard because it was someone showing that you can't trust time lapses either, which of course we already know, but there's still to some extent people believe it, and they really just caught people off guard and like, oh wow, we definitely got this. We're not ready for this, and so let me show you a little bit more information. So it's this video right here. It says proof I don't trace AI. You guys are jealous of my awesomeness. Now, initially when I saw that caption, of course, just like anything, it got me curious. Couldn't help it. Let me see what this is about. And so let's just take a quick look at this video. And if you want to pause it at any point in time, slow down the video, you're more than welcome to. I promise I didn't speed this up. This is just what they sped up themselves. Now, they'll say, you didn't notice what's wrong with this? Let's rewatch. So now they're going to, I'll slow it down just for y'all. I got y'all. We'll take this to like 0.5. Still waking up. So you can kind of see right here, it says lower an image curve 80%, 40%, etc., etc. They're pretty much just showing you how you can trace AI without being caught. He said all I needed was to edit the curve to completely hide the AI image I was tracing. And so that's where they show the proof right there. And yeah, says it's easier than you think and happens way more now. Keep an eye out for tracers. And so one of the things with this, of course, it popped off 2.6 million views. Not surprised at all, right? When you have something like this, it's going to catch a lot of people off guard, especially people who are very beginner artists or very novice, don't really know better, or in other words, also cocky artists who think a certain specific way is the only way that things are done or happens online. The situation kind of proves that in the sense of, hey, you think you might know, but there's also this as well too. And I guarantee there are a lot of people who say that they can point out, and I see it all the time, it's confirmation bias. You might think something's AI, but you never know fully until someone says, hey, it was AI, and you're like, I knew it the whole time. I always knew it was AI. And then you also have people just in the comment section that have been saying some things like, oh, well, people don't do X, Y, Z, Z, Y, X. Brother, let me take you into reality. Let me bring you to the real world. There are so many people on this fucking planet. There are so many people who draw. There are so many people who have different ways that they go about drawing. Now, yes, typically you can start to correlate and put two and two together and say, normally, unless this like makes no feasible logical sense in any way, shape, or form that this shouldn't be possible at all, then sure. But a lot of things that people try to call it here in this post saying that, oh, well, I saw them do this and no artist can actually do that, that is just kind of silly. And there is a chance that you're just kind of saying stuff just to say things. But you know what? Let's read some of the comments. Let's see what people are saying. So, yeah, someone's talking about, everyone already knows this. If you don't, Procreate can let you hide layers. Clip Studio Paint, from my understanding, you could do it as well too, but there's a lot more work you got to do into hiding said layer. It's not as simple as like Procreate, which lets you make a private layer for some reason, and then lets you also hide it. Don't really understand that personally, but hey, maybe there's a usage that I don't get, that you want to hide it so no one can see it, I guess, other than having clean time lapses. But I'm under more the presumption that who gives a fuck? It's just a time lapse. I don't think you need to act like you're about to debut it on Netflix like today with the Grand Theft Auto premiere, and you're going to have millions and millions of people looking at it. It's not that serious. Don't understand the idea behind private time lapses or private layers inside of a time lapse so it doesn't show up, but that's just me personally. Anyways, another person says the links people will go to. There's this girl who got caught filming her screen enhanced to prove she's not tracing, but she was green screening the AI. Yeah, that's the one I talked about earlier. Actually, you know what? Let me show you a little bit of that video just so you can understand how ridiculous these AI bros go to try and prove that they're not actually tracing any form of AI at all. Let's get to the really spicy stuff, the stuff that you're really wondering. What could an AI, quote unquote artists do in this current day and age? So it says green is completely missing from the color wheel at 1:16, but reappears later in the video. This points to the video being chroma keyed, which can be used to trace over a hidden green layer as demonstrated in the second link. This post refutes none of the AI accusations. Now, someone provided an example, and we're going to take a look at this together. So here is someone providing an example. This is green, and this is them showcasing them actually tracing over this, where you can't see it at all because the green is chroma keyed out. And so then you get the impression that they're actually working. It's legit, like they're actually sketching this out. They're doing it by hand, and there's no one that can actually tell anything. And as long as they don't show you that color wheel, you wouldn't know any other way, which is wild, right? It's actually crazy. This is probably the smartest AI user, and a lot of people might say that's a very low bar to clear, right? But realistically, dog, like, it's a pretty interesting technique. I mean, that's a masterclass move if I've ever seen one, dog. Like, it's so crazy to see all of this called out, dog. And someone even has it right here, so you can look in the screenshot, so you can see the green is missing from here. That's how people were getting to the point. You got green here on this part, but then here the green is somehow gone. So essentially, if you were to make a assumption, what happens is once they got to a certain point, then you can just turn it off, and then you don't need to be chroma keyed out anymore because now they're adding color. And if they were to use anything resemblance to the color, it might look sketchy. That's wild. And Younger Wasabi is right. That is indeed wild. That is crazy to see the links that someone would go through. That was kind of like the eye-opening moment for the art community, at least those that were tapped in at that moment, that really wasn't aware that something like that was even possible. That was like a masterclass move. That was one of those, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you darn kids, the Scooby-Doo moment. That's more or less how that person probably felt. They got caught in the simplest way possible with such an elaborate way to try and make sure they didn't get caught. So that was very intriguing. Continuing on with some more comments. Someone said, I'm so tired of having to block a bunch of accounts that blatantly thirst after you take one look and it's obvious as fuck. There was a week I blocked like 15 people because they kept showing up on the timeline every damn day, and it felt like nobody noticed or just preferred to say nothing. I would say a lot of it is just the fact that people just prefer to say nothing at this point. I think that while yes, there's still a lot of AI shenanigans that gets clowned on, I have noticed that a lot of it's starting to become more accepted, or just more people just don't care anymore, I guess, because they feel like nothing is going to happen at this point anyways, and people thrive nonetheless. I saw something a while back, and it was talking about like this right here. I'll show you all this. I came across this a couple days ago, and it's not even like a day ago, actually. I came across it early this morning. My bad. Still waking up. Someone said, if you're still using AI to generate stuff in your thumbnails, please stop being lazy and learn basic Photoshop. Stop using AI to generate your shitty thumbnails. Trust me, it will turn out 100 times better if you did it yourself. And the thing is that people who make these posts don't understand is these people who do this don't give a fuck that it would turn out potentially, and that's the thing, they have to look at it from the eyes of potentially turn out better if they did it themselves. Realistically, the fact of the matter is YouTube rewards AI slop. YouTube rewards that type of stuff. That's just how the game works, and if it wasn't working, they wouldn't do it. And that's the thing people don't understand. You could have a million raging Twitter users put their fists in there and say, I'm not watching the slop. Brother, you weren't going to watch it to begin with. Let's be real here. Now, make this clear, it's not like I'm trying to justify the AI usage or try to say that is fine. Farthest thing from it. But what I am trying to say is there's a reason why shit like this happens, and it's because it works. That's just how platforms are these days. It is so normalized to the point where people just don't give a fuck, and they don't mind consuming the AI slop. And they're not going to look at the thumbnail that hard and be like, I wonder if this is AI. They're just going to look at it and be like, that's an interesting thumbnail. Let me click on the video. That's more or less where it ends, because it looks more or less, if you just do a quick glance, you're just scrolling through, it's going to pull off that Mr. Beast vibe, same thing as his thumbnails, and that's more or less what it boils down to. We're kind of at this point in time, like when Fruit Island came out, you saw a fuck ton of views for that, and a lot of people are really enjoying that. I've been noticing it more as I just browse the internet that AI slop is becoming more accepted, which is unfortunate. People don't really have as high of a bar as they did before, and it kind of comes down to the point of, hey, well, I actually kind of like this. Yeah, it might be AI, but it's not that bad. And that's kind of the attitude I'm starting to see online. Now, I am aware of the AI food stuff that's been going on. The AI food ads, those look horrendous and those look trash. I can't imagine that those are doing too well, but uh, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to kind of rant about this real quick, or yap. It's an early morning yap session, call it that, I guess. Um, but yeah, crazy times we're living in. Time lapses don't mean a fucking thing at this point. I'm gonna be real. I don't think it means anything. And same thing for asking someone to show layers. I think we're going to get to a point eventually where AI bros are going to kind of, I don't like to say figure it out, but they're just going to, the ones who are determined enough to really make sure they can't get caught, and they'll have some way to show really nicely presented layers or some shit. Or in this case, you probably got artists who already use AI in some way, shape, or form, but because they're already artists before AI existed, they can already hide their tracks, except for those that are really stupid and they don't really know how to master tracks. I think at this point in time, you kind of just have to trust your eyes and trust the process and hope that what you're looking at is authentic and it's real, because we are now at this no turning back point where you can look at a lot of stuff. You can say that it's AI, you can claim that it's AI, but there are also people that have legitimate artwork that isn't AI that does get claimed as AI. And then they have to genuinely go show the proof. And then people are like, well, I thought it was AI. My gut told me it was AI, but actually wasn't. And that's a situation that we have to deal with very often as well nowadays too, is people who actually don't use AI that gets their work called AI. And obviously people forgetting the fact that AI had to come from somewhere. What AI created had to come from something, and it came from theft, it came from stealing. But I'll leave it here. Let me know what you think in the comments.